empty shell of a person when describing a loved one ravaged by the later stages of Alzheimer's or dementia. Sadly, the disease process does indeed transform people into shadows of their former selves, but those living with Alzheimer's or dementia are far from empty shells. Yes, the shell may become more and more difficult to open. Some days it might not open at all. But never forget that there is a beautiful unvarnished pearl within. Understanding how to open the shell gives us opportunities to meaningfully connect with our loved one, even if only for a fleeting moment. Just as the right tools and a lot of technique is required to shuck an oyster, there is technique and artistry involved with communicating or connecting emotionally with a loved one who has Alzheimer's or dementia. I find it best to always announce yourself. Identify yourself before starting a conversation and refer to the person by name. This gets their attention and awareness and reminds your loved one who you are. As the disease progresses, you may find you need to reintroduce yourself throughout the day. Unfortunately, they may forget who you are. Alzheimer's and dementia inevitably get worse with time. People with Alzheimer's or dementia will gradually have a more difficult time understanding others, as well as communicating in general. Always refer to people by their names. Avoid using pronouns like he, she, and they during conversation. Names are also important when greeting a loved one with Alzheimer's or dementia. For example, "Hi, Grandma, it's me, Amanda," is to be preferred over, "Hi, it's me." Always try to minimize distractions. Turn the radio or the television off and remove things from sight that are distracting. Remember, we all know the phrase, "squirrel." When they get distracted, it's much harder to get them to engage in the task at hand. Or if you want them to have conversation, it's harder for them to engage in that conversation if they're sitting, fidgeting, or picking at something. If possible, sit down, face to face in a quiet, calm environment. Speak clearly and naturally in a warm, calm voice. Refrain from baby talk or any other kind of condescension. Remember, they're not 5. They're an adult. Respect is important. Talk about one thing at a time. Someone with Alzheimer's or dementia may not be able to engage in the mental juggling involved in maintaining a conversation with multiple threads. Keep the conversation very simple. When possible, ask questions that require a simple yes or no answer, as multiple threads of conversation can be very difficult for them to follow or understand. Speak the language. People with Alzheimer's or dementia have been known to revert to their first language as they lose the ability to speak. If your loved one grew up speaking a different language, prepare to speak as much of it as you can. They may revert back to that and only speak that language. Use nonverbal cues. For example, maintain eye contact and smile. This helps put your loved one at ease and will facilitate understanding. And when Alzheimer's or dementia is very advanced, nonverbal communication may be the only option available. Don't argue. Your conversations are likely to not go very far if you try to correct every inaccurate statement your loved one makes. It's okay to let disillusions and misstatements go. For example, we're in fall and it's kind of cool outside. They may have on a tank top and not want to put on a sweater because they may feel it's hot outside. Join them where they are and then gradually bring them to reality, to the present moment. Arguing just makes them shut down and they won't want to have conversation. It can even make them become very agitated. Remember, have patience. Give your loved one extra time to process what you say. If you ask a question, give a moment to respond. Don't let frustration get the better of you. Finally, please understand, there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. While the general trend of those who suffer from Alzheimer's or dementia is a downward decline, people with this disease will have ups and downs just like anyone else. It's okay to take a few minutes to step away when you find yourself losing patience and come back to revisit the conversation when you are calm. That concludes my presentation on how to communicate effectively with someone who has an Alzheimer's or dementia diagnosis. Thank you for coming.